Good morning and what's up, everybody? I'm finally starting to put something together. This is going to be a little bit different from my channel today. I know I do a little bit of everything, but it is primarily be the art stuff. And hey, here's some art stuff to start out, and we'll talk about that on a later video. Working on this fucking awesome bug here. I think a new friend for Space Godzilla, but that's not what this video is about. Anyone who's following me on any of my other socials may be aware I'm doing some pretty crazy body transformation shit. I've had some questions on how I've done what I've done. I'll start out with some preliminary things. First off, talk to your doctor about doing any of this shit. I do with mine, and my doctor will either be like, hey, that's a dumb fucking idea, or like, I don't know about that, or like, yeah, that's good to go. And it's been at my judgment to do some of these things that I will say a lot of people would say you shouldn't do that, but I think my results speak for themselves because I'm down like 30 pounds since September, and it's been a healthy weight loss, like with my body composition and shit. And I think that I pulled it off by doing some very specific things. That's what we're going to kind of discuss here, as well as this is not going to be for everybody. I'm going to tell you that what I do is going to push you to a breaking point, and if you are not motivated to do this, it's not going to work for you. If you make cuts, if you make changes, then don't expect the results I get. And that's okay, because this journey is not for everybody. If you are not able to do this, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means this is not what you are motivated to do. Everyone has different motivations, and this is one of mine. I don't like whenever like fitness people try to like make you feel like shit because you can't do certain things or whatever, and that's not what I'm here to do. This is a matter of like, this is some information, and if you want to try to do what I did, this is how I did it. No, if you make substitutions in any of this stuff, don't necessarily expect the same results. But still, like I said, talk to your doctor about this stuff. But you're going to suffer with this, I'm going to tell you right now. But if you're willing to suffer for this, you're going to get the results probably that I got. I mean, everyone does have different metabolisms and shit like that. This is not necessarily going to be about following exact steps either, by the way. This is going to be about like methodologies and applying concepts to you, because in your journey, you're a different person with different biochemistry than I am. So you're going to have to do some trial and error and see what your body responds to. I would say this may not necessarily all 100% work for you unless you were genetically identical to me, and that's fine. What I do may seem crazy for people that I got the results that I did, because I've done this before. And it, a lot of people are like, how did you pull that off without steroids or whatever? And it's like, this is the science. It's all diet science. And listen, you will fucking get better results with steroids, but probably don't do steroids. That shit's bad for you. It's definitely not for me. Anyway, so what we're going to start with, this is going to be the first video is going to focus mainly on nutrition, because without the foundation of nutrition, nothing else in this is going to work. Don't think you can go to the gym and go fucking beast mode and just pull shit off unless your nutrition is on point. If your nutrition is on point, you're not going to be able to perform. What we're going to do, what I do, is I'm trying to turn my body into a fucking sports machine, which is hilarious because my next door neighbor right now is revving up a fucking sports car that he's working on. So whatever, we'll go with the ambiance here. Anyway, the foundation does need to be on your nutrition. The cool thing about this is actually not too expensive to do. My grocery bill is really fucking low because of the way that I do everything. And that is one benefit of doing shit the way that I do it. It has to do with very precise nutrition throughout the day, because what you're going to need to do is not necessarily focus on like counting your calories or macros. Now you can move into that. I'm not going to focus on that, but it's really more a matter of making sure that you're getting the most out of your nutrition, you're getting the most out of your metabolism and energy to pull off this shit, and everything else should fall in place. What I focus on with my training and my regimen, all right, he needs to chill out on that, Jesus Christ. What I try to focus on with this stuff is a matter of all I'm trying to aim for is get myself stronger and faster, and everything else just kind of falls in place, because if your metabolism is tuned to do those things, your physique will likely follow that path. Anyway, without further ado, the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the vitamin and nutrition stacks. We are going to talk about the food after this, but these are the things that I use in my nutrition to get the nutrients and stuff that I need. So what I do, I have basically like stuff I take in the morning, there's stuff I take 2 times a day, and then stuff for evening meal, and then sleep time, and then before I work out. So morning essentials for me are going to be, actually this goes over here, what the fuck am I doing? Morning nutrition essentials for me, as at this point, it's not that I'm cutting calories per se, it's that I'm burning so many calories. I need to make sure that the 2,000 to 2,300-ish calories a day of food that I get is gonna be absorbing into my body. So 2 essentials that I found that are just a non-negotiable in this department are a good B complex, and I'm playing around with something called COQ10 that you can buy. It essentially has to do with helping your mitochondrial energy to get like basically the most nutrition out of your food. There's a lot of debate on the, I don't know the word you want to put, like, but the results that are delivered from this. I feel like I'm personally seeing enough results to keep it around. It wasn't that expensive either. So there's that. And then of course, good old caffeine. Caffeine will wake you up in the morning. Jesus Christ, dude, with your fucking car. Caffeine will wake you up in the morning. Caffeine boosts your testosterone levels. That's all good to get rocking and rolling. Be very careful with it though. A little bit of caffeine is usually fine for you, asterisk if your doctor clears you to take it, because some people don't have the ability to deal with stimulants. But 200 milligrams is more than enough for like normal day-to-day kind of thing. Big bottles ever cheap. So there's like usually what's in the morning stuff that I take. I'm actually missing, God damn it, I need to order L-arginine. I actually take that twice daily, which we're moving into the morning and night. Morning and night, I need to make sure I have magnesium. This is good for many different things. As it says, nerve, bone, and muscle health. Also for your mental health. I have had really bad depression issues. This had helped me a lot with that and many other things. Magnesium, a good magnesium, I believe this is magnesium citrate twice a day. It's going to be your friend. L-arginine twice a day, going to be your friend. It's for heart health, by the way. I should clarify that. With a PM meal, I'm going to be taking a lot of anti-inflammatories. When you're doing this kind of working out, your body's going to hurt and you're going to feel like maybe you want to take like aspirin or Advil or whatever. I advise against that. It tends to inflame your digestive system, and if your digestive system is inflamed, it's not going to absorb nutrients as well. There's things that'll be on this that I don't have in my video or photos or whatever, but some must for me are going to be fish oil, just a really good fish oil supplement. Turmeric, a very good, powerful anti-inflammatory, just to run through your digestive system and take the inflammation out. It will actually work as a painkiller, I believe, in like placebo tests and stuff. It actually did comparable to like aspirin and shit. So it actually has some legit painkiller properties without tearing up your guts. A D supplement. I work in tech. I am in a fucking office, so I may not necessarily get the sunlight I need. Very important for your immune health and stuff like that, and as well as your mental well-being. There's that. And then L-carnitine. This kind of has to do with like pulling nutrients out of your food and stuff that's important in the meat that I eat. So L-carnitine is one that I take in the PM. So there's like kind of my daily supplement, regular routine stuff. At nighttime before I go to sleep, I rely on melatonin. Another foundation to doing this right is making sure you get the rest you need. Now, if you're busting ass the way that I do, if you're working in the gym, your body should be so tired that you pass the fuck out. And listen, I have had some really bad sleep issues, even like night terrors, some PTSD issues. But in dealing with a lot of the stuff that I did, it's really kind of made sleeping easier. But I still like melatonin to send that chemical signal to my brain to be like sleepy time. All right. What I take before I work out, whether it's going to be lifting weights and cardio or both, is going to be the following. I take L-citrulline for circulation help. Another one for circulation help that a lot of people don't know about is beetroot extract. It has to do with like helping your blood carry oxygen. Super important. I learned this from like football players that were using this. I relied on it heavily when I was working on doing a 5-minute mile about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's now a staple for me. With the lifting and shit now, because that's kind of the next step for where I'm going. Creatine does speak for its results or whatever. It does increase water in your skeletal tissue, help you build the muscle you need, and will deliver results as far as like getting the most out of your lifting. excuse me, for recovery, I definitely have had good results making sure I get glutamine in my diet daily. As far as like, it helps me personally with, I have really bad delayed onset muscle soreness, and if I keep this on the regular, it helps a lot. I had to suck it up and get some yesterday because I was feeling like I got hit by a fucking car. And then a good old pre-workout. And honestly, like, yes, some are better than others, but like the cool shit is pretty much banned at this point. I used to love the original formula Bull Knox, but like, just like some not too crazy shit, like Redcon 1's fine, whatever. Cage Muscle had been my go-to for years. It's just a little pricier, but I will speak to their efficacious dosages on nutrition and shit. But a pre-workout in general is fine before you go in. This will make sure I can rock and roll and do what I need to do, get my results, and get out of there. I will say with any stimulant usage, my suggestion to you is to probably cut her off at noon. No stimulants after noon so you don't have sleep issues. That's been my rule. So like, yeah, I might get up early as fuck and have my caffeine and all this stuff too. And again, be careful with yourself. Some people that would be way too much. But for me, that works. And then if I'm going to work out, this stack of things gets me ready to roll. So that's like the supplementation that I recommend trying out. I would say, I'm not going to recommend, I'm going to say recommend try it out, trial and error, and see what results you get out of this. I've tried just about everything you could possibly think of. And this is what's kind of gone through my testing and came out with some actual results for me. All right, part 2 of this video is going to be the food. So everything that I have in my food here was picked for specific reasons on how my body responds, and I'll explain all that. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to focus too much on talking to you about macros or calories or anything like that. It is a matter of keeping track of your food, because as long as you're tracking how much food you're eating and weigh it, that's really going to let you know, like, you eat the food, you weigh it. If you're eating the same amounts of food every day, if your weight is not going down, then you need to eat less of the food and weigh out less of it and eat less. If you're trying to grow muscle and your muscle isn't packing on good enough, then you need to eat more of this food and make sure you weigh out more food and eat more food, and you will grow. These kind of general foods that I picked here do kind of fall in a sweet spot if you were counting macros, of having like kind of a 50-50 balance of carbs, meats, a small amount of fats. You do need to have fats. Damn it, you need to have fats. It takes the inflammation out of your body. But it is important you make sure you get the fats that your body rolls off of, because if you fucking take a cheat day and you go eat like Wendy's or something, you're gonna feel like shit, because the fats that are in Wendy's are not really that good for recovery, and it's like pouring shitty fuel into your gas tank. So without further ado, get yourself a scale, weigh your food out, very important. Anyway, for the training that I do, my morning is going to start with the following. I'll just go ahead and make some good old Grand's biscuits, whatever. Probably not the best, but it works for me. I did switch to turkey sausage because it is a leaner sausage with lower fat, higher protein, cheap Walmart sausage. They're the only ones that make the good patties that I like too. The other ones, like the Jimmy Dean's, are these tiny little pathetic ass little fucking wimpy patties. That bitch fills out the whole biscuit. Very important for me. Just be on point with your food. And then some egg whites. I'll probably switch to whole eggs now that I'm working on building muscle, now that I've cut the fat I wanted to cut. And then, flavor it up with probably some hot sauce. And if you know good hot sauce, you're probably fucking with Tapatio or Valentina. Thank you very much. That's my breakfast. I eat that before I go in to work out and shit. Start with that. And then that's usually, I don't know, like, hopefully if I'm not slacking ass, 6 o'clock-ish, 6:30-ish. And then later in the day, I'll usually like work out, and I might have like a banana after. Just depends on like how I'm feeling that day. Because potassium is crucial for your nutrition. But I do have it later in the day anyway. But my lunch at this point is very specific, and I have always had digestive issues. It's probably the fucking autism and ADHD, us neurodivergent kids. Our guts hate us, and the way that I have tried to get it in gear and found luck is making sure that I have fiber and probiotics on point. So my lunch is usually around 1-ish, and my lunch is going to be a mixture of 2 probiotic sources. It's going to be Greek yogurt. I like this Oikos 000 because like the nutrients are really on point, and it don't taste bad. Some of the flavors are better than others. I personally kind of like the vanilla, the peach, and then there's like a key lime that's pretty fucking good. I didn't grab it. Anyway. Then there's also going to be some kefir, like usually a serving of this. This has its own like set of the different probiotics. It's somewhere on the label. Yeah, it's got all that shit in there. I didn't grab the bag out of the fridge because I didn't prep, but I have a giant bag of like Walmart frozen berries. So what you do is you take a giant bowl and it's like 2 cups of berries. Really important though, because the berries will fill you up. They're lower calorie and berries are really high in antioxidants, which take inflammation out of your body. Blueberries are one of the best sources of antioxidants too. So a lot of blueberries, some strawberries, hopefully raspberries and shit too in there. Sometimes Walmart cheaps out and it's like a bunch of strawberries and the other stuff. And if that's the case, probably get a different brand. It's not that much more, but just start with a big giant, like 2 cups of berries. Dump one of these on there, dumping a serving of this on there. Some sliced almonds. I'll usually take a fistful of sliced almonds and then a fistful of granola for the fiber and all the other good fats and things. And this is my lunch. It's a huge bowl of food, extremely low calories if you work out in calories, but delivers me the fiber and the probiotics and things that I need to get my digestive system doing what it's supposed to be doing. So there's that. Then there should be probably for me about 2 meals a day. And what I do is basically I basically have in rotation at this point chicken breast and pork loin because of the cost, because of the leanness of the meat. You could do fish. It really doesn't fucking matter as long as you're not eating super, super fatty meat. But essentially what I'm doing for me, and you kind of have to fool with this, okay, is like about 100 grams of meat, 100 grams of carb. This carb can really be anything. For optimal results, I recommend sweet potato if you're working out like I work out, because sweet potato does have the highest amount of like sugars per carbs of things like potatoes and stuff. And also it's probably one of the best sources of returning glycogen to your muscles for extreme exercise like you're about to do if you're going to do this stupid shit that I do. And then you want to have some greens, definitely have some fiber in there. I just personally like to bake some broccoli in the oven and some like avocado oil with some spices, some like rosemary and thyme and shit. The thing that annoys me with other like bodybuilder people is they eat bland food, and it's fucking stupid. Don't do that. What I'll usually do with my meat is I'll take and I'll slice it into like little pieces and I'll have it setting in like a dry rub in the fridge for a couple days to really break it down. I'll then take it out and hammer it flat with a meat hammer, like really, really thin, like that thin. And then I'll like basically pan fry it in also avocado oil because it doesn't really have a lot of flavor. It has a high smoke point, so you can cook hot and fast and keep it tender. But cook it real fast when it's real thin, like a couple minutes aside at most. Just make sure you get it like your right temp. I use a meat thermometer, but like take it out, let it cool down, chop it in little pieces, and you got these just little tiny chunks of meat that you can just throw in a bowl. It's super, super easy to do. And the potatoes, like my sweet potatoes right now, there's a good bit of sugar in this, but I need it to run, to do things. Is like I'm basically cooking sweet potatoes either in like a slow cooker or a pressure cooker. I'll dice them up. I'll throw them in with some like brown sugar, a little dash of orange juice, some Irish butter. That's a good source of fats. It's worlds different than like regular butter because it actually has pretty good omega-3 fatty acids, and also tastes a lot better if your taste buds work. Shitty butter tastes like shit. But I'll usually do a bowl of like 100 grams of this, 100 to 150 grams of this, probably 50 grams of broccoli, handful of feta cheese, sprinkle in a hot sauce, and I'll have like a bowl of this at like usually probably 3 o'clock. It's good to probably have like another bowl of this at like 6, 7 o'clock, depending on what my hunger is telling me that day. Try to keep it on regular intervals. I would even recommend setting alarms if you really, because sometimes I will like forget to eat or eat too late or too early. Just set an alarm for these meals. And then before bed, it's really important to make sure your nutrition is on point before you go to bed, because what happens in your body when you sleep is that's when you do the most amount of recovery. And what happens is every time you go to sleep, you kind of have these little cycles, these little sleep cycles. You go up and down. You can watch it if you track your sleep with like a sleep monitor, like my watch will do that. And every time you drop into your REM sleep, your body dumps growth hormone. And it's like the first REM drop is the most growth hormone. And like second and third, I think, like there's usually probably like 2 or 3, I think. I could be wrong on this. But essentially, that's when your body's recovering. It's dumping its natural growth hormones, and you need to make sure that when it's doing that, there's something in your stomach to pull out of. And like, so before bed, I recommend, if you can digest it, casein. You could do whey protein, but casein, it digests longer and slower. So your entire sleep cycle, there should be something in your guts to digest. But what I'll do is I'll start with almond milk in a cup. I'll usually take a handful of frozen bananas, a couple cubes of frozen sweet potato, my casein, and then I'll also make this like tapioca looking shit. What this is I'll take chia seeds and a little bit of almond milk and make it into like a goop, and I'll just kind of throw a couple spoons of that goop. It's a real, chia seeds are super fucking nutrient dense. But like throw all this in here and blend it up and just make it a shake and just down the hatch. Does it taste like amazing? No, but it's not terrible either. Just chug that shit right before bed, and then your body's got that running on it while it's healing when you're recovering overnight, hopefully. Snacky poo's got to be covered here, because you are going to need to snack. Like, again, this is not about starving. This is about putting the right fuel in there. And my go-to snacks at this point, bread quality is make or break. If you do this with Wonder Bread, you're going to feel like shit, because I had to eat Wonder Bread whenever I was crashing at my parents' house for a little minute, and it made me feel like shit. But Dave's Killer Bread, does it taste amazing? No, but it's pretty decent. But like Power Seed is nutrient loaded. But I'll do like fucking peanut butter toast with this, and it's not peanut butter, I'm sorry, almond butter. I'll use a natural almond butter. But you know, if I want to snack occasionally, like maybe like once a day, might have this. Or also another good one I found, because I do like chips and shit, is like I'll just take some cheddar rice cakes. You can have like 4 of them, and they're only 45 calories a piece. Like 4 rice cakes, and be like dipping them in hummus, and that's a pretty good lower calorie, higher nutrient meal. There's really nothing in rice cakes, but hummus is beans, so go figure. But this is basically what I consume throughout the day. Through all this as well, make sure you're drinking a gallon of water if you can, or I basically, one of these bad boys right here, and I can't drink regular water. It always tastes like metal to me, so I do have to put like some kind of a flavor in there. So like what I would recommend is using stuff like this. This does have branched chain amino acids, which are a compound of stuff that your body uses to recover. It's really good too if you're in a caloric deficit, to make sure you're healing and staying in a anabolic state. I always get anabolic and catabolic mixed up, but basically building muscle versus cannibalizing the nutrients in your body so you don't grow. But water with some kind of flavor in that's got BCAAs in it, drink a gallon of that shit a day. And that is pretty much it for the stuff I consume. This needs to be your foundation, because if you don't do stuff like this, you're not going to be able to work out the way you're going to see that I work out. So this is part 1. Thanks for tuning in. It was a long video, but we had a lot to discuss. And then I guess probably the next one's going to be where we start to talk about like the workout routines. So that's part 1. See y'all soon.